So let's talk about simple if statement. In the if statement, if f, for example, whatever is the comparison, and then you have comparison, and then you have statements, comparison, and then statements. Let's come on, statements. All right, and then so for example, what you could do, for example, if, for example, g, okay, less than 50, let's say less than 50, okay, less than 50, and whatever statements you want to put in here. So for example, you could say display, you could say display, okay, and then you have display, and you could have a sentence message, for example, okay, g, for example, g is a small value equal to, all right, and then you display in here, display the g, all right, display the g. So let's say, for example, let's run this to see if there is an error. So we have to name it first. Let's say if example, if statement. Let's call it if statement. If statement. Okay. Let's run and see if we have here if statement. This is if statement. Let's run it in here, and of course what we have to do first, CLC and the clear again. Never forget this. It's good always to do it. All right. So the g is not declared. So let's make g equals 30, for example. Let's run it again. All right. So g equals 30. Let me have a semicolon in here, and g is 30. Then it goes in here. If g less than 50, okay, then it will go inside the loop and execute all the sentences or all the lines between the if and the end. So between the if and end will be executed. So it will execute first display g is a small value equals to g small value, which is came in here, all right, and then display g, which was 30. Okay, let's change this to 60, for example, 60. All right, and if I run it now, okay, nothing printed out. Why? Because g equals 60, as you see it in here, 60. It will go in here. If g equals 60, that is now oh, that's not C++, this is here. Okay, this is now false. Okay, false. So if it's false, it will not go inside the loop. It will go to the end right away, and nothing will be printed. All right. So so usually if statement is good for scalar values. So if, for example, I have g, let's say g is now like, it's like a vector, like 50, 30, 30 and 20, for example, whatever. Okay, and let's run it now. Okay, it will be, it will be confused because don't know how to evaluate it. So usually we use it will go inside the loop only if it is true for every element. If it's true for every element. So in here, let's change this. Let's change this to 90, for example, and let's change this to 50. Another 50. All right. Let's run it. So okay, is g greater than 50? No, because this is not the greater, it's equals to 50. So let's say in here G is let's change this greater or equal than. So I think that's okay. So I'm sorry, the equal has to be after. So less or equal to 50. Okay, less or equal to 50. G less or equal to 50. Of course, 60 is not equal to the 50. Okay, so it will print if it's G less than 50. So 60 is not less than 50. It did not work. So let's say that G is greater. Let's say greater. Okay, greater than 40. Of course, every element in here is greater than 40. So I think this will work. Let's try it. Here we go. So every element in the array or in the vector is greater than 40. Then it goes inside the loop, and what does it do? Display the first line and then display G, and that's the G. So it's a very simple sentence that you could use. Now the more complicated one is if else. Okay, if else. So in here, if G equal, then do that, and then what you could do also, you could else, if else, and else will not have a condition. Else, okay, else, okay, if, and then you have the else statement. Oh my God, what is that? And then here, if else, okay, so else, if else, and you could display, for example, display, okay, whatever sentence you want. Nope. Okay, not all values, not all values less than, greater than, greater than 40, for example. Alright, so let's execute it again, see how many errors we have. No errors. So now everything is greater than 40. Let's change one value, make this 10, for example. So it will go in here. Is all the elements in G greater than 40? Of course not, because 10 is not the greater, so it's gonna go to the else, and we'll execute this line. So let's run it. Okay, that's what happened. So it went to the else and executed this line. It's a good habit always to have indentation. So if, and then for the sentences inside if, you try to indent it with a tab or a few spaces. Then else, and remember that else does not have a condition, does not have a criteria with it. Else, okay, it will give you the results like this. All right, so it's a very simple if, and if it could have so many conditions that you could choose according to your logic in here. Whatever condition that you need to execute, you could have it there. So for example, as you know, let's take another example. Okay, let's take another example. So for example, the if x less than 0, okay, for the log, as you know, the log, the input has to be positive or 0 or positive number. It cannot be negative. So if you need to calculate, for example, y, which is equals log of x, all right. So if the x is greater than 0, then calculate y. Else, so let's go like this. Else, oh my God. Else, okay, that's the else. Okay, else again, what you're gonna do? All right, you could display an error message. You could display an error message. Display, for example, whatever you wanna say. You could say, for example, the input to the log function must be positive. That's it. It has to be positive. So let's try it now. Let's first let me delete or let me copy this somewhere else. Let me copy this place. Let me copy it somewhere else. So control copy, and let's create a new one in here. Let me paste it in here, and when I run it, it has me. So this is let's call it log example, whatever, example. Okay, example. Okay, so the log example is good to have like this, more readable log example. So in here, all right, this go. So always don't forget always that what we have to do, CLC and clear as normal. Now I could run it. All right, so I did not specify x. I have to declare x before, so I put x equals -9. all right, so can you guess, okay, which one you're gonna run? You're gonna go, is x, which is -9 greater than 0? Of course not, so it's not going to go here. You're gonna go to the else, and we'll run this, we'll execute this line. Let's try it out. Here you go. So it gave you the input to the log function must be positive. It cannot be less than 0. Let's make it 9. Okay, let's make it 10. Whatever, you make it whatever you want. Okay, let's run it now. Here you go. That's the log for the 10. What if I change it to 0? Will it work? Let's check it out. Okay, so in here it has to be greater than 0. That's what I mean. If I need really to take a 0, you could make it like this: greater or equal 0. Okay, it has to be greater than 0 actually, so it cannot be even 0. Okay, so yep, so to the always the log, the input to the log function has to be greater than 0. all right, so that's the S of so what if the x is not one element? It will be a vector. For example, it will be 0 to 0.5, okay, to 2. all right, so we have a step which is half. all right, and let's run this. Okay, again, I mean, because we started from the 0, okay, 0 is not included. The 0 is not included, so it will not be able to do it. But let's say, we change it from let's say 1. all right, 1. Then we have, okay, let's run it. Okay, so it gave you the log for 0, it gave you the log for 1.5, and gave you the log for the 2. Give you the log of the 2. Anyways, the if-else statement is probably best confined to use with the scalars, not vectors. Although you may find it to be limited, you could find it used also in vectors if you know what you are doing. So that's what it is. I mean, that's what how to use the else if-else statement. Of course, another example that you could use. I mean, for example, you could use it to mimic the error function. Okay, the error function. So, for example, let's modify this a little bit. So, x, for example, and let's say that we're gonna give the x from the user. So we're gonna use the input function. Input function. Okay, so the input function that where the user could enter. So you could say enter, okay, a value of x greater than 0. Okay, greater than 0, greater than 0. You're telling the user enter a value of x which is greater than 0. all right, and that's whatever the user enters will be saved in x. So I mean, if the user enters something greater than 0, so what you have to do, calculate it. Otherwise you could say error. You could say error, like you give error message. There's a function called error. Alright, the error function, yes, error, and the input must be, something else, else. So this is where this run it actually. So in here, enter a value of x greater than 0. Let's enter 89. Okay, then enter. Then it was calculated. Let's run it again, and let's enter -9. Okay, -9. This is okay, a wrong error. And in here, because you used the error, this will be executed in here. So this will give you an error, and error, and will tell you enter a value 0 -9. Okay, so it was an error. It will go in here. It will not allow this to be executed. It will go in here and will give you an error. All right, will give you the error. The last one is like elseif. I'm sorry, elseif. So let's actually let's delete this. There's no need to keep it. Okay, so like if would like to have multiple options. So for example, okay, you could use the elseif function to allow to check for multiple criteria while keeping the code easy to read. Okay, so instead of have nested if else, you could have if else if else if else if, and the last one will be else. Okay, so for example, if you would like to evaluate whether to issue driver's license based on the age, right? Let's write the code in here, simple code, very quickly. So if age, so of course we're gonna have, you could have age, like let's say age equals, okay, let's say input, input the age, okay, till the user enter the age, whatever. Okay, so whatever the user enters, it will be saved where? In the age. Then I'll do my magic. So if, okay, age less than 16, okay, you're gonna say display, okay. What are you gonna tell this person? You're gonna tell him, sorry, so sorry, you'll, okay, you'll maybe like this, you'll, okay, forgot, you'll like this maybe, you'll, okay, you'll have, okay, you'll have to wait. He's too young. He is too young to wait. Let's move this. You'll like this. You'll, okay. You'll have display. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. You'll have to wait. You'll have to, okay. You'll have to wait. All right. And then there's a second option where they're gonna say else f, okay, age, whatever age is less than 18, okay, then you're gonna what? Display. You're gonna display to the user. Just copy it. Copy. Control copy. What are you gonna display? Control V. You're gonna display to the user, and you're gonna tell him. You may have a youth license. You have a youth license, right? Fair? Yeah, you may have. Okay. Then we could copy this block in here, get copy, and we'll paste it below it. Okay. Control V. So else if the person is less than 70, all right. So we tell him you may have a standard license. You may have a standard license. All right, fair. All right. Okay. Else. Okay. Else. And then the last one, it has to be else. All right. Well, this is. Well, let's make this else. Okay, so if you are less than 70, you may have some. Then else. Okay, else. The last one will make it else. Else will make it else. Okay, and display. Okay, display. Okay, drivers over 70 require a special license, for example. Require a special license. All right. So as you see in here, the block is very simple. So if age 16, if 16 or if less than 60, it will execute this and go to the end. If it does not, if it's not true, it will go to the next option. If age less than 18, and then it will apply this and go to the end. Then it goes to the next one. If the age is less than 70, then it will give him this this option and go to the end. Otherwise, it'll go to the last option. So let's try to run it. Let's try to run it. Did we save it? Yeah. Okay, we are here, right? So what? Oh, I'm here. But I'm not running the. Okay, let me close all this. Let me close here. Let me close here. I'm running this one now, and so okay, clear. Okay, enter the age. So let's just start with 13. So 13, age is now 13. It's gonna go in here. Is age less than 16? 30 years. It will display this. Alright, let's try it out. Here you go. Sorry, you'll have to wait. You'll have to wait. So let's run it again and try, for example, 80. So what do you expect when you had 80? It will gonna go to this one. Okay, I go to this one. So let's try it out. Here you go. Drivers over 70 requires over 70 will require. Okay, require. Let me fix the language here. Okay. Require a special license. Run it again and put, like, for example, 90. Okay, it will require a special license, and so on and so forth. So when you have multiple options, you use the else if to run the program. All right. run the program. That's it. So that's the if. We learned the three lines, three statements: if, else, and else if, and it's very useful for many applications. All right. So thank you.